Hello, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about descriptive statistics and different formulas that we're going to be using for things that are pretty common. You've probably already seen them in math class, but I'm going to show you how to do it in Excel specifically. And we're going to be working with this database right here, which is giving us age, height, and weight of different people. All right? So, first and foremost, when I want, for example, before we get to that, the descriptive statistics. The descriptive statistics is the average, the median, the mode, the standard deviation, the variance, the range, and we're going to be talking about the Pearson as well, okay? So, when I want to get averages, for example, I am going to start, remember your formula always starts with an equal sign, and I'm going to get the average. The average is the same thing as the mean, remember. Let's say I want to get the average or the mean height of all of the people. I'm just going to select all of them. And I've got my average, okay? Now, what happens if I want to get the average of a specific group of people? So let's say I want to get the average of only people that are 24 years old. It would take a while for me to select each one of the people that are 24. Therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it quicker. And I'm going to go to Data, Filter, and I'm going to filter. Now, be careful here. This is really common. If I just filter out the 24s, right here, we have some skips. So from 3 to 11, from 12 to 17, okay? Those cells that are in between are just hidden, okay? Therefore, if I try to get my average of this whole thing, it still gives me from C3 to all the way to 24,999, okay? I don't want the average of all of those. I only want the average of the ones that are shown, okay, of the ones that are 24 years old. Therefore, what I'm going to do is before I filter, I am always, always, always going to sort. Doesn't matter which order, they just have to be in order, okay? And now I want to put in my 24. And when I do that, notice how now it's not skipping. So now I can get my average. So average of height of only these people, okay? And this range makes much more sense, okay? So that's my average. I can also get, for example, the median of that same range. I can also get the mode of this range. I can also get the standard deviation. Now notice how here on standard deviation, there's a couple of options. We're going to use the S, which is for sample, because it's a sample of people, not every single person in the whole population, okay? So I'm going to use STDEF-S for this particular range. I can also do variance, which is var.s. Notice how right here on Excel, it's already telling you what it is. So estimates the variance based on a sample, okay? So right here of my height. It's exactly the same thing for all of them, okay? For all of these. Now, let's talk about the range. The range doesn't have a formula, but by definition, the range is maximum minus the minimum. So the maximum from this range, I am going to subtract it or subtract from it the minimum of this range. I forgot to put the formula, but right here. The minimum of this right here. This parentheses is not necessary. Here we go. And that's my range, okay? Now let's talk about the Pearson. The Pearson correlation coefficient can go from -1 to a 1, okay? But the negatives are showing us a relationship that is negative. That means that if one increases, the other one decreases. And the positives are showing us a positive relationship, which is that if one increases, the other one increases as well. Okay? And we're going to take the absolute value to know the strength. So the closer we are to 1, the stronger the relationship between the two variables. Okay? So in this case, I'm only going to be talking about age 24 since I already have it filtered. So this is my first variable, which is my height, and I want to compare it to the weight to see if there's a relationship between the height and the weight. Okay? So right here it's giving us a 0.5. That means that we have a positive relationship, which means that if one increases, the other one also increases, but it's a 0.5, so it's not that strong. Okay? These errors right here are really common because Excel is noticing that I don't have a pattern between the cells that I'm writing. Okay? So it kind of gets weirded out with what I'm doing, but that's okay. We can leave it like that. All right? So these are the different formulas that you can use to be able to analyze your data using descriptive statistics. Remember, descriptive statistics is for describing our data. The data that we already have, we want to analyze it and sort of describe it with numbers numerically. Okay? So that's it on descriptive statistics. I hope this helped. And that's it. So have a very nice day.